What's happening, you guys? I'm way overdue for an update here on the channel, just about how things have been going. So it's the last day of July, and I'm just going to talk about that whole month. I've picked up a lot of subscribers in the month of July, so I appreciate that, you guys. I appreciate all the new people that are watching, and if you're wondering, if you're drawn in by one of the glory videos, I just want to talk to you in real terms here about what I'm doing here. I set out to make this channel to sort of document my experience with alternate day fasting for weight loss, and I wanted to do it in an authentic and honest way. And what that means is I talk about the ups and downs, and I talk about the good stuff as well as the bad and the bumps in the road. And if I could put July in one phrase, it would just be that it was one big bump in the road, because there were several challenges that I met for the first time and some significant struggles that I dealt with that I want to talk about real quick in this video. And the first is that I had several stressors in my life. I had several major changes that were happening in my life in the month of July. I had my daughter got engaged. You say, how was that stressful? Well, you just keep in mind that whether for better or for worse, positive or negative, stress affects us. Like, changes are stressful. So my daughter got engaged. We increased the number of pets that we have at our house in kind of a weird situation. So that happened. The finals for school were due in the middle of July. So there was a lot of things, a lot of writing, a lot of deadlines that were going on. And, so quite a number of things. And I had a big disappointment in the month of July. Something that really depressed me for a good solid week, where I was just like, I had the blues, man. And I've talked in a previous video about stress and fasting, and how I know for me as an emotional eater, it's much harder to fast. It's much harder to curb my appetite or my eating habits when I am stressed out, which I was for basically the entire month. So, so here's what happened. July 3rd came around, and I had been feeling, what I had been doing was true alternate day fasting, true ADF, which means that my alternating days were 0-calorie days. Okay, so I was eating no calories at all on my down days. And I was feeling so fatigued, you guys. I was just tired all the time, and I knew that wasn't normal, because when I first started fasting, if you watch previous videos, you'll see where I talk about the energy that I had on fast days and how strong I felt. And I was just so tired. It felt like when I was a teenager and had mononucleosis, the kissing disease. And I was just like, what is going on here? I was having trouble sleeping. I was up till 2 and up at 6 and just weird, wanting to fall asleep in the middle of the day. And even in the mornings, when I normally have a lot of energy, I'm sort of a morning person anyway, I was just so tired. I said, what is going on? When I would go out to exercise, I'd get out there, be 5 minutes on the road, or 5 minutes, lifting weights or something like that, and just felt so exhausted. And when I woke up in the morning, I felt like a sick and swollen mole emerging from the covers, the darkness. And actually, that's what July is like. I felt like a sick mole, and coming up out of the ground, and emerging into the light. So I was like, what's behind this? Well, around July 3rd, of course, America, we celebrate Independence Day, and I America'd hard. I ate a lot of salty meat, a lot of sweets, a lot of chips, a lot of tater salad and macaroni salad and all that stuff. And I just never stopped. After that, I went 2.5 weeks and never stopped. I was like all depressed, and along with some disillusionment about something else, I was just like, I'm going to have to delete my YouTube channel. I'm going to delete my account. I was, melodramatic and everything. But here's what I learned. I basically ate what I wanted for 2.5 weeks. And I know I put on some weight. I know I did. I think a lot of it is water, because I've noticed that when my eating is off the rails, I drink less water. In fact, that's common for a lot of people, that when they think they're hungry, they're really thirsty. That's why whenever you think you're hungry, you should get a drink of water. Drink water with your meals, etc. But, you know, and my appetite was just out of control. I was eating when I wasn't hungry, and I was eating the wrong foods. So this went on for 2.5 weeks, and then I was just so miserable. And, you know, my energy level wasn't better. So I was like, what happened? You know, what happened here? And so here's what I decided to do. I knew from reading Dr. Jason Fung's book, The Obesity Code, and from some other things that I'd seen online, that one of the ways to rev up your metabolism after you've lowered it is to start eating again. And so it had been about 2.5 weeks, and I said, I'm going to go back to eating the low-calorie meal on my down days. In other words, I had been doing 0 calories, and now I'm going to eat that low-calorie meal, that 500-calorie meal or lower, on my down days. Now, here's the thing. For me, that meal has always been a salad, and a good one. It's been about, I should take a video of it sometimes just so you can see it. But I start with a big giant bed of lettuce, or spinach rather, you know, celery, carrots, whatever I have available. Sometimes I'll put salsa on it, or hot sauce. Sometimes I'll put, I almost always put a good protein in there, like cottage cheese, or tuna, or lean chicken, something like that, and a splash of vinegar to help absorb the nutrients. That's what I started doing again. And I thought about it, you know, like, when I'm eating that low-calorie meal on my down days, it's like guaranteed nutrition. You know, I might eat total jack crap on my feasting days, but for sure, I'm going to eat good on my down days if I do eat. And so that's a change I made, and guess what? I don't know whether it was eating for 2.5 weeks or whether it was going back to eating the low-calorie meal, but my energy level has gone back up where it belongs. My appetite feels like it's under control again, and I just feel good. I have my energy. You know, I'm working out again. So there needed to be a change, apparently, that my body was aware of, and you know, I just was feeling so terrible. So I learned something good. I learned that I'm not willing to go back to where I came from. So the guy that made the first video on March 15th of this year, 4.5 months ago or whatever, is not willing to go back. You know, because I was so miserable. I felt like, you know, I just felt like King Fatty of Bloat Mountain. I felt like a human watermelon. You know, I just had so much water retention and everything. And so that was my solution. You know, I went from eating less to eating slightly more. And there's a lot of people out there on YouTube that'll tell you that modified ADF, when you eat the low-calorie meal, is for sissies, and true men do, you know, total fasts. And that's a load of malarkey. Just want you to know that. There's no scientific you know, difference in measurement in weight loss results, which is what matters. There's no difference between that, between people who totally skip their meals, or those who have the low-calorie meal, the 500 calories. So keep that in mind. You know, if you need to eat that food, eat it. And that's what I needed to remind myself of, and my body just took over and said, you need to make a change. And that's the change I made. And who knows? You know, I've, throughout this process, just been experimenting, learning about myself. I have some handicaps. I mean, I'm 42 years old, and I have a lifetime of bad habits, and I have an addictive personality anyway. So there's quite a bit of resistance to change that I'm dealing with, internal stuff. But it just seems like by eating again, you know, I just reset the clock somehow without really gaining a significant amount of weight. And so it's been good. It's been a good experience for me, even though you know, for a long time I was looking at it as a failure, which depressed me even more from what I was depressed about. But it's really not. It's really just looking at the long haul. I tell you what, I am so impressed and inspired by some of the women on the alternate day fasting site on YouTube, or on Facebook rather. If you look at alternate day fasting parentheses ADF on Facebook, there are women in that group that have been doing ADF for like 4 or 5 years. You know, so they're a really good resource. A lot of the admins there are a really good resource for information. But I love their attitude. Like when they go on vacation, they're just like, I'm going to gain 10 pounds. I'm going out with my girlfriends. And they're just so excited, you know, and they just know they're going to put that weight on. They almost celebrate it. And I love that attitude because they know they're going to come back and they're going to get back on the plan and they're going to lose the weight. And so it's really just taking a healthy dose of what I've been preaching on this channel, which is that we are our own, each, you and me, we are our own best experts. We're the people who know what our body needs and live in our body. And if we will respond to it and listen to it, we'll feel better, we'll be healthier. And it's looking at it in the long haul. I'm staying adaptable, I'm staying flexible, and I'm not going to be afraid of change when there needs to be change. And so, and I'm looking at those things like, how do I, you know, get my water back up, keep drinking water. The cure to water retention is to drink water. Remember that. If you're retaining water, drink more water. It'll help. Your body will release the water. So I'm doing that. I'm taking steps to make sure I'm sleeping at night. I'm not looking at my devices. I'm not looking at Facebook and stuff like that at night. And just looking to try to get it a little more, you know, back to where it should be. I feel much better. And so yeah, that's basically what happened in July. I've avoided the scale all through July. I weighed myself at the start of July, and I'll probably weigh myself tomorrow morning. But I don't really plan on weighing myself through August. I'm just going to kind of follow the plan, follow the pattern, and see how it leads and see where it goes. Look for more updates. Those of you who are new subscribers, you know, I appreciate your being here. I appreciate all of you here who have commented, who've given me the thumbs up, who've been so supportive. I even appreciate you trolls. You know, there's a lot of protein in trolls. We should eat more trolls. But there's just been such a great group here. And so I've got videos coming about some of the questions that you've asked. And, you know, about headaches when you're fasting. Someone asked about drinking alcohol, how that affects weight loss, sleeping problems. I've got some experience there, you know, with fasting. And even, you ready for this? Porn and masturbation, how they affect weight loss, because I have some thoughts about that too. So thank you so much for watching. And if you know someone who would appreciate this channel or could use this information, just a testimonial of someone who's out there struggling like they are and having some success and some failures and being honest about the whole thing, go ahead and share this channel with them. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we fast. See you next time.